welcome to another Chelsea chat. I was going to do this last night, but to be honest, I was so disgusted, and that's the right word, harsh, I know, disgusted on what I witnessed yesterday when Chelsea lost at home 1-0 to Southampton, who are rock bottom of the English Premier League and who sacked their manager last week and who are struggling against every side they play, but have done the double over us this season. A third of their points in the Premier League this season have come against us. Let that sink in. And I'm sick of hearing cliches after the game, but witnessing a nonchalant, I can't be arsed attitude on the pitch from most of the players, and it seems to be spreading to the new signings. Now, as the few of you that regularly watch these videos know, I'm neither Potter in nor out. Was I enthused by the appointment? No. But it was given, an English manager in the English Premier League a chance. He'd done a good job at Brighton, so who knows? I've heard all sorts of different things about Tuchel, from him getting caught smoking hashish, smoking marijuana at work, taking his girlfriend over the desk at Stamford Bridge and at Cobham, and a friend who works at the club told me that he'd laid into Todd Boehly and co to such an extent during a meeting that there was no way back for him at the club. So for all those whining on about Tommy Tuchel, who I loved, even though we were playing crap under him, and let's not forget our first defeat to Southampton was under Tommy, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back. So let's just get Tommy Tuchel out of the equation. Now, Potter, I've not been Potter out because I don't think any of us appreciate how difficult it is to take over players, trying to incorporate 3 or 4 new players in a side, when at the time he took over you had 6 major players out injured, that went to 11 major players injured after his first 5 games. We then went to the World Cup and he only had 4 players to train at Cobham. And after that, January is on us within a month, and he's got 6-7 players, new players to incorporate into a squad, and we didn't get rid of players that wanted to leave. Can you imagine 40 players trying to keep them happy with those egos? And I don't think that there's a manager out there that could actually do that. Even your Jose's, even your Conte's, I think would really, really struggle with that job. I think he's been given an impossible job by Todd Boehly. That said, yesterday when I saw the team, I couldn't believe there were so many changes again. Against Dortmund in midweek, I thought there were real green shoots of recovery. And yesterday, he decided to rest Reece James. I know he's just come back from injury, but he's just got through 2 90 minutes. The second 90 minutes, a much improved one. The last one, a much improved performance to the first game back that he played. Unless the doctor, and I hold my hands up because I don't have privy to the doctors, unless they've said, oh no, he won't get through another 90 minutes, play him. We've got a week to rest him up before we play Tottenham. If we'd had a game in midweek, if Dortmund was on Tuesday or Wednesday, I'd understand it. But I don't understand that yesterday. Thiago Silva's 38, they got to manage his minutes, but he could have played yesterday. Instead of that, we played 2 centre-halves that haven't played together. I think I'm right in saying that Koulibaly and Badiashile haven't played in the same side. If they have, it's not in a back four, as far as I can remember. We rested Mudryk. Now, Mudryk hadn't played since November with his previous club, but he had the little cameo against Liverpool. He's had 2 games since. Why does Mudryk need rest? I'd love to have Graham Potter in the room and say, explain to me, please, why Mudryk needs rest. I'm not being funny. At 21, I could play 2 games Saturday and 2 games Sunday. Not at that level, I admit. But why rest Mudryk? And what compounded it for me, that decision, was playing an out-of-form Mason Mount out of position. Now, I know I've not looked at Twitter this morning. I came off it early yesterday. I've not looked at it, but you know they're going to be going for Mason Mount. All the other players probably getting off quite lightly, but you know they're going to be going for Mason Mount because he's English. Seems to be the theme. He's off form. He's been terrible. I love Mason Mount. I think we'd be mad to sell him. I think he gets through more work that no one notices than anyone else on that pitch. But yesterday, we played him as a winger. He's not a winger. I think he's an 8. He's often played as a 10. If you were going to play Mason Mount anywhere, I'd have played him just in front of Enzo Fernandez because he's got the engine on him. And let's face it, Covey yesterday was, you know, he was like the proverbial spare penis, wasn't he? He was waste of space. And out of form, Mason Mount played out of position, basically left wing. I was shaking my head. I thought, I just don't understand this. I'm not saying I'm some great coach because I'm not. I'm like you. I just watched the game. Used to play the game. I've managed a bit in the game at a very low level, but we all like to think to some degree we can see what they're doing. So he rests Mudryk. He rests him when you're playing Fofana up front. David Datro Fofana, who I thought yesterday, for me, was about, apart from Fernandez doing a good job, he was about the only positive thing that I saw in yesterday's performance. Physically very good, very direct. So what do? We rest a guy that's potentially going to give him service. So what you got happening was Mason Mount drifting into where he's used to playing and David Datro Fofana drifting out to the left wing, which was good because he gave them a direct threat, but there was no one then in the middle. So in the second half, we're going to bring Mudryk on. So who do we take off? David Datro Fofana, the only player that had really caused them problems in that first half, a good physical presence, who's then going to have a winger that gives him some service, and hopefully he can just stay in the middle then, and he gets taken off. Please, in the comments, tell me, educate me, enlighten me as to why that was done. Please, because I've watched the game twice now, and I'm lost, absolutely lost. So Havertz and Sterling came on, and Mudryk came on, and yes, we did look a bit better in the second half, but no great shakes. We've got no urgency, no sense of importance to the fact that we've only got 90 minutes on that pitch. We even when we're losing, there doesn't seem to be any. There's no leadership. While I'm thinking, just big prayers out to. I'm not religious, but I'm still going to put some out there to Aspie. I hope he's all right. That was a hell of a crack he got to the head. These things do happen, but in today's football climate, it should have been a sending off. It was dangerous, obviously. You can't argue over whether it was a danger or not because there's a bloke in hospital. In the old days, you used to be able to try an overhead kick. Now, you've got to be aware of who's around you, and if you connect with him, it's a sending off. The referee must have thought it was naughty because he booked him. Otherwise, he just said, "No, you tried an overhead kick, mate. That's all right. Carry on. Don't worry about it. These things happen." But it was sending off. But again, that referee yesterday, and I'm not making this as an excuse, but I think he might as well stuck a red and white jersey on because he was practically helping the time wasting. How their goalkeeper didn't get booked, I will never, ever, ever, ever know. We seem to have this mentality, or lack of mentality. We've lost our winning mentality. I remember seeing an interview with Joe Cole saying about half time in the 2012 Champions League. We were getting the run around by Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich were the best team in Europe at the time, but we beat them. We beat them just on sheer winning mentality, sheer grit, sheer determination. Joe Cole saying Drogba's didn't even sit down at half time. He's just going around the room kicking walls saying, "Get me the ball. Put the ball on my head." And the rest is history. Sheer grit, sheer determination in a side managed by Di Matteo, who, although a stylish player, he could put it about a bit. He knew what the Chelsea mentality was. And from what I saw yesterday, this lack of urgency is catching. Because Enzo Fernandez apart, and Badiashile to an extent, but Badiashile had a bit of a shocker yesterday. He improved as the game went on, but you could tell him and Koulibaly hadn't played together. Another positive was Wesley Fofana when he came on. I thought he looked really sharp. Best I've seen him play for Chelsea, and he's just coming back from injury. No doubt he'll be rested for the next 2 games. You've got to get a winning side. All right, obviously change 1, 2 max. But when you're changing 5 or 6 players, playing players out of position, playing Mason Mount as a winger, has he played there before? Yes. When he's on form, can we get away with it? Yes. We've just paid 80 million for a winger to play there. 21 years old, played 2 games, he needs a rest. Oh my good God. I can't get my head around this. I'm sorry about this vlog, but I can't get my head around a lot of it. But that yesterday was a disgrace. That yesterday was a disgrace. I had to laugh at their goal. Because presumably you've got all week. You've got all week to study a team, study their players. I remember someone saying, I think it was John Terry, Mourinho used to give them a file on the player that was going to be directly opposing them and a general outlay on the strengths of the team. So if you're playing against a guy who likes to cut inside, you obviously defend on the inside of him to force him to the outside, that sort of thing. If someone's brilliant at free kicks, like Ward-Prowse is, you know about it. You know where he puts it 9 times out of 10. And 9 times out of 10 he puts it where he put it yesterday. So your goalkeeper knows that if there is a free kick there, he knows roughly where to go. Kepa didn't get any sort of file or have any sort of research because he took 2 steps to his left before he dived to his right. Aspie gave a stupid free kick away. Well, if you know that they've got someone as deadly at free kicks as Ward-Prowse, you know. Ward-Prowse yesterday was excellent for Southampton. His attitude, he got stuck in, he was physical, and he scored a great free kick. That's what we were lacking in that midfield yesterday. I felt sorry for Enzo Fernandez yet again. What a player he is. Only a young lad. What a player he is. But Kovacic might as well not have been there. The amount of times that bloke gave the ball away, overrun the ball and slipped over yesterday. And don't get me wrong, I'm not having a go at Kova. Yesterday he was shocking, like a lot of his teammates were. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. I don't know what to say about Potter. I've been in the mindset of giving him a pre-season because he's been given an impossible job to do. But what worries me the most, and let me know your comments, is that I can't see any sort of style. I can't see anything that we're trying to achieve. If someone said to me now, what's Chelsea's style of play? Is it counter attack? You know, is it high press? Is it low block? I'd say I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I've watched that twice now. I've still not got a clue. What were we trying to achieve yesterday? What was the game plan? I honestly don't know. If you know, if you watched it, you know, that's why I do these, so we can all educate each other, so we can all give our diagnosis, so we can all give input that helps others. Please help me, because I'm lost. I am absolutely lost. I thought I knew football. I don't, because I couldn't see anything there yesterday. No game plan whatsoever. And as I say, some of the players rested. And the substitution of Fofana, I don't know. Yes, Fofana looks very raw, and his game management might not be all that it will be. But do you know what? If we don't know what he's going to do next, the opposition don't. And I thought he gave them some good problems yesterday. I must admit, early stages he is very raw, but I like the looks of the lad. I'd probably stick with him. I'm in shock how bad we if we got relegated playing like that yesterday, I wouldn't be surprised. I know we've got to drop a lot of points, but I think this team's capable of that. Forget top four, we look like we're aiming for the bottom four. Couldn't hit a barn door, could we? Players on that amount of money, oh well, you always are on about their money. Yeah, I do. You pay the big bucks for the highly skilled individuals, and if they can't score, Sterling yesterday, and I'm not slagging Sterling, the rest of his team are like it, but how he didn't put more power behind that header is beyond me. He even had time to look and direct it. Right, enough's enough. I'll go straight on to the players. Kepa, he gets a 6. He's obviously done no research on when that free kick was going. Maybe not his fault, but if I was in goal, I'd be doing my homework on their forwards, and you can then take a percentage guess on where it's going to go. It gives you that little bit of advantage, and you don't go to your left. If he'd gone 2 spaces to his right, he might have saved that. But I'm not blaming him for not saving an excellent free kick. Earlier on, he's still got this thing where he won't dive outwards for the ball. Ball flashed by him, should have dived outwards. In the end, he had to make a save, which was a good save. You know, one of these where he's standing up and making himself big, but it could have been cut out before that. But it is what it is with Kepa. He's 6. Aspie played at right back, did okay. Just hope he's well. That transcends football, doesn't it? Aspie gets a 6. Inside, Koulibaly looked all over the place at the start. Couple of bad passes away, he gets a 5. Badiashile, worst game I've seen him play, but he's a young lad. He must put into a sweepstake to who his partner is next to him. He's a young lad, 21. I'll give him a bit of leeway, but you know, first couple of minutes he let the ball bounce. Doesn't seem to be any communication at the back there, but there doesn't seem to be any communication anywhere. So yesterday, yeah, Badiashile gets a 5. Chile gets a 6.5. I didn't think Chile was as bad as some people are saying. I thought he looked direct. He's still 100% upgrade on Cucurella. He's coming back from injury. I'm surprised he wasn't rested. But yeah, 6.5. In the middle of the pitch, Hernandez is my Chelsea man of the match with a 7. Couple of stray passes, trying to do too much at times, but always made himself available, never shirks, always tries to be positive. He gets a 7. Cover next to him gets a 4. Absolutely dire. Absolutely dire. I'm a Kovacic fan, but yesterday gave the ball away too much, out of position too much, didn't read the game enough, wasn't positive enough, didn't win enough tackles. Times he went in for a tackle and got beat. That shows that the person against him wants it more. He could have tackled Olive from, not from all the buses, Olive from Popeye. You've seen how she's built, and Olive would have beat him to that ball on a 50-50. Mason Mount gets a 4, played out of position. We know he's out of form. Kept drifting off that wing into the middle. As I say, David Fofana then went out to the left. It was a total cock-up. I blame the manager for. But Mount's not on form. That's not his position. He gets a 4. In the middle, João Felix gets a 6. Tried too hard, tried to do everything on his own at times because he obviously looked around him and thought, Jesus Christ, what have I done here? Mind you, on his money, he thought, Jesus Christ, can't wait to see my bank balance tonight. It'll make all this worthwhile. It wasn't his best game. Gave the ball away a lot. Maduke gets a 5. Done a lot of good things, lost it a lot. There was once where he had an entire goal to shoot at. And he passed. Enough said, and he's not the only one. David Fofana gets a 7 from me. I really like the look of the lad. Gave it away a couple of times, but you know what? He looked dangerous. He looked a proper physical problem for them to solve, and why he got taken off. Only Graham Potter and his coaching staff will ever know. But I just don't get that at all. Not going to score those that come on in the second half. They were a bit of an improvement. Even Havertz, if he played like that all game, would have got a 6, which by his standards lately is world class, isn't it? Fofana, when he came on, to be fair, he would have got a 7. He looked decent. Sterling looked sharper than he had done. I don't know. And then you get that missed header. Talking about missed headers, Mason Mount. Oh, I don't even know how to describe that. So yeah, Potter gets a 2. Potter gets a 2. Much improved in the second half. We were a little bit improved. We had more possession, and I bet you if you broke that possession down, most of it would be in the first 2/3 of the pitch. I'm not going to say Potter out. I don't know if he's the man for the job, though. I'll be honest. I don't know if he can handle those egos. It was the thing I was worried about at the start, and I've seen nothing to change my mind. Yes, he seems to be a good coach, but I can't even see what he's coaching. I can't even see a game plan. I can't see any players that have improved after 25 games. And we've now got, is it 2 wins in 15 games? I think the worst thing Todd Bowley and the board could have ever done is come out and say, no, he's safe no matter what. I know they needed to say it because of all these imbeciles, who have a go after 10 games on social media. But I don't know if it's given him an attitude where, oh, well, we did our best. I've done my best. But if your best isn't good enough to be an elite club, it's different managing Brighton. Some of them players, they've worked so hard to get into that Premiership, and they're grateful to be there. They'll run their balls off. This lot won't. We have got a lot of good time Charlies. We've got a lot of players that probably spend more time combing their hair than thinking about the attitude they should have for this team. When they're not sticking Nivea on their face, they're sticking something on their ear. And that's where they're at. That's where they're at. And I would love to think that Potter goes in there and tells them that, but I don't think he does. I'm not sure what he does. Not sure if he gives them any tactics. Do you think they still get these dossiers like Jose and Conte used to give them? Probably not. Just do your best. Just do. Look, it's like my nan. My nan could have managed Chelsea. Just do your best. If you do your best, if you know you've done your best, they can't even say they've done their best. They can't even say they've been motivated by my nan's attitude, because some of them ain't done their best yesterday. Awful. Anyway, I'm going to go. Sorry, it's so disjointed and... Oh. Anyway, speak to you after Tottenham. Haven't got any hope whatsoever of beating Tottenham, I'll be honest. You'd like to think some of them are up for it, but I doubt it. But as long as they do their best, as long as they got a lot of work to do. Yeah, you have. Right, that's all from me. Let me know your thoughts, and yeah, sorry again. Speak to you soon. Up to Chelsea.